Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jim Bellacera sitting with Wesley Winarski. And actually I had a chance to meet Wes in North Carolina. And before that I actually saw you on the internet. So I actually kind of got to know you a little bit like many months before we actually shook hands and met and greeted in North Carolina. Now here we are in California. And yesterday you came to the studio and we had a chance to kind of get to know each other. And I love the opportunity when I have it to actually get to know someone before they come in the studio. And so I've really discovered some things about you that are pretty cool. You're definitely an entrepreneur from beginning to end. You've probably lived, well, you've definitely lived in more places than I've lived. But I think I'm one up on you on all the locations throughout the United States that I've been in Canada. But talk about, what is it that makes Wes tick? I mean, why are you so driven? Why are you an entrepreneur? And how is it that here you are Canadian and yet you made it your home in the United States? Tell us about that.
Well, it gets back to I was born in Niagara Falls, New York, and I was raised in Canada. My parents were school teachers. And I owned car washes when I was younger. I was underground parking garages, shopping malls, all over the place. I was just working wherever I could, cutting grass, doing that. When I was about 16, I started in the car wash business and met a gentleman by the name of Dan Kennedy, and he put my name in a book.
You know Dan Kennedy?
How to Succeed in Business by Breaking All the Rules.
Oh my God.
And I got people coming up from all over the place from that point saying, I've seen you in a book, I've read your name. And kind of put me on the map, so to some extent. And a gentleman from Florida actually bought my car washes from me in the mid-90s. And because I was born in New York, I moved to South Texas.
Now, what's really funny is here you were born in New York with no New York accent, but definitely a Canadian accent.
My strong Southern accent, Canadian.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was born in New York. I moved to Texas and started washing cars down there because it's the only thing I knew at that point. Got in the RV business, and that was great because I enjoy helping people. That's one of the main reasons I got involved, is because there's so many people down there who could not maintain and take care of their motorhomes and RVs, and I got involved just by trial and error and learning, and it evolved into quite the business opportunity for me where I was traveling.
I have a question for you. Were you ever in college or?
I went to first year of college. Was best 3 years of my life.
Best 3 years?
Best 3 years of my life. I played hockey all 3 years, being the good Canadian that I am.
So you weren't really in college. You were playing hockey. I got it.
So it was great. But the experience that I learned, it's just from meeting people and being around. That's where I really got my education, is by hands-on. I was told by a gentleman when I was in high school is until you're 30 years old, get all the experience you can. Work and learn from as many people who are successful, because you can't put a dollar sign on that. You can learn so much from people's experiences. That's all I did. And when you're 30, things will just fall into place and things will evolve. And I'm 33 now and having the time of my life.
Yeah, you're a young 33. So we really haven't talked about what makes you tick. I mean, we understand you're an entrepreneur, but something's driving you to do it. Is it the money, or is it the experience? Is it the growth? What is it? I don't get it.
It's probably the opportunity to help people. I really enjoy helping people succeed. If I've learned something through my travels and seeing someone else achieve the same success and live their dreams, that really, really gets me excited to see someone else experience what I have, or learning mutually, myself learning from them at the same time. So building a business is always a fun journey.
So really what you just said to me was you're people first and money secondary.
Correct.
Well, that's a compliment, because there's a lot of people that are driven by money first and they'll walk over people to get there.
Well, here's an interesting story. When I was in grade 12, or 12th grade, as you say here in the United States, my grade 12 English teacher sat me down and said, you need to have an essay on a story called Death of a Salesman. And I, obviously being the budding student I was, I didn't complete it in time. So she made me a sandwich and sat me down and she started dictating. I was dictating to her exactly what the essay
Your teacher was allowing you to dictate the essay?
I said it backwards. I was dictating it to her.
Wow.
And because she wanted me to get it done, and I was so focused on my car wash business at the time, I thought that's where I wanted to be. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm working.
And how old would you have been?
Probably about 19 at the time. And she says, what's the moral of the story here for Death of a Salesman? And I stumbled around for a bit, and she said, well, it's stepping on other people to get to the top. And I said, you know what? I'm going to build my business and be successful without stepping on people, but helping people rise with me. And it's been amazing, the journey, because I keep that in my mind with everything I do. And when I come across an opportunity where I can help people, I think of Mrs. Phelps every chance that happens.
Wow.
So
Well, unfortunately, time is pretty much cut now, and I just want to end with this. Yeah, everybody has an about me. We have a life. We have a story, and what I like is I like learning about people's journey and what gets them where they are, and so that you actually have the ability to actually introduce yourself. Had you just written that out, I don't think that people would have really known how much you care more about people than you do about money. And yet, I know you're driven by money too. So that's a compliment.
Definitely, because it's like money's like air. It's hard to live without.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.